Imagine if you were able to stop your social media addiction and stop watching porn and instead get jacked, attract beautiful girls, and start your own successful business all in just 1 year, without needing luck and without spending an absolute fortune of money. Well, you don't need to imagine it, bud, because you can. I mean, if a piece of shit like me can turn my life around, you sure bloody well can. You just need to develop an unshakable mindset, as well as 3 other masculinity hacks that I'm going to take you through right now, so listen very closely. And just so you know, this isn't going to be that generic, sleep for 8 hours a night, that kind of video. It's not going to be that. So let's get stuck into it, shit. But first of all, I want to tell you a little story, because I remember the pure silence surrounding the boxing ring after my last fight. I hopelessly stood there in the middle of it, waiting to see if my hand would get raised. The lights were dim, the silence from the crowd was almost deafening. I mean, it pretty much felt like time stood still, and the beating of my heart was racing like some kind of dog off of its leash. And 2 seconds later, the announcer speaks into the microphone. "And your winner, from the red corner, Myron!" I screamed at the top of my lungs with joy. It was a sense of passion like I'd never ever felt before. I was shocked. I was in so much disbelief, to the point where I had literal tears running down my face, and a rush of just euphoria just spread throughout my insides. And I thought, holy shit, like, I've actually achieved something. I've put in the hard work for a year, and I've actually achieved something with my life. And so I stepped out of the ring to go and find my dad. And once I found him, he literally just stood there with his arms wide open like this. And he welcomed me for the best embrace that I think I was ever about to have. He knew how much this meant to me, and the look on his face mirrored my emotions. He said, "Son, I'm fucking proud of you." And at that very moment, the degenerate life of me procrastinating to a shitty fucking phone screen and getting blackout drunk 3 times a week didn't matter anymore. I'm a new man now. And the best thing about that whole story is that my life only got better afterwards as well. But I'll leave that for another time, because now I want to help you, bro. I want to tell you how you can completely change your life in 1 year. So let's get stuck into it, my friend. First of all, you want to eat more fat. Now you might be thinking, what? Eat more fat? How am I going to eat more fat and then improve my life? Because let me tell you, buddy, fat isn't that bad for you. It depends what type of fat you're eating though, okay? So you have the unhealthy fats and you have the healthy fats. And obviously I'm talking about the healthy fats. And these are the kinds of foods like avocados, nuts, olive oil, certain different types of cheeses, fermented milk like probiotic, which is also called kefir. These kinds of things are fantastic for you. They are brilliant fats for your body, and I feel like the word fat kind of scares people away. In my opinion, we need to invent a new word for fat, because fat isn't a bad thing when you eat the right types of fats. In fact, fats are very healthy for you, and it isn't eating fat that makes you fat. What makes people fat is when they eat too much food, is when they go so high above their calorific maintenance threshold, okay? And the fats you want to be eating are monosaturated and polyunsaturated. And as I said, avocado is a great example, nuts, extra virgin olive oil, salmon, dark chocolate, cheese and chia seeds. These are all great for maintaining a healthy gut and increasing your testosterone levels. And to actually work out how much fat you need to be eating, or work out a goal for how much fat you want to eat, you want to be using an app called MyFitnessPal. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything like this, but I just use the app personally. I think it's amazing because it allows me to track how much fat I'm actually intaking. And the amount that you need to be intaking depends on individuals. So for me, for example, I've found that a diet consisting of 40% fat is optimum for me. It makes me feel light, it makes me feel strong, it makes me feel healthy and focused. And eating more carbs makes me feel slow and heavy. And actually, MyFitnessPal often tells me that I'm eating too much fat and too little carbs, but I don't follow exactly what that app says because I've experimented with my body and I know that I feel better with about 40% fat. but that's something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. And if you want more information on the foods that you should be eating and the foods that are going to help you to build muscle and get focused and improve your mindset and reduce fatigue, then I highly suggest you get my diet plan from the description below, and it's free. I'm going to give it to you, and this is going to help you in so many different areas of your life, and it's going to prevent you from having to spend hours and hours and maybe even days of your life trying to calculate an appropriate diet plan for yourself. So if you want to save some time, jump on that. Another way that you can change your life is by knuckling down and using a habit tracker. So essentially, a habit tracker is a piece of paper that you'll hang up on your wall. So when you get this piece of paper, you're going to draw out a habit tracker on it. So essentially what this is a table, okay? You're going to write down all of your habits in a column down here. So you might say, reading, gym, boxing, meditating, eating a healthy diet. And then beside that, you're going to have the days of the month all the way across, right? And then for each day that you achieve one of those habits, you're just going to tick it off, okay? And what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to see like a streak, right? You're going to be able to see how consistent you've been with these habits, and it's going to show you which habits you need to focus on more, which habits are working, which habits aren't. And this is going to allow you to stay disciplined and to actually work on the things that are the most important. These are going to be the most important tasks that you can complete. And when you do this, this is what's going to allow you to completely revolutionize the year that you have, because it's going to help you to stay consistent. And one of the main things that completely just fuck up people's lives is that they have no consistency. And it's because they don't have a clear written plan, right? When you have the habit tracker written out, you have a whole written plan out on there, and you can actually follow something and stay disciplined with it. So this is an absolute no-brainer. The next thing you want to be doing is downloading a free productivity manager. So I basically use an online productivity manager. The one that I use is called Trello. There are some more out there, like another one's called Notion, but I personally don't use that one. I just like Trello. It's also the one that I learned first, so I'm not going to spend like years learning Notion now as well. But basically, when you have a productivity manager, it allows you to never forget an idea that you have. Have you ever been in like the shower or something like that, or out on a walk or something, and you get this amazing idea and you say, oh, I'm going to do that later on, I'm going to work on that project later on, but then you forget about it. Now, how annoying is it when that happens? And this is why I advise having a productivity manager, because whenever I get an idea, I instantly just insert it into this productivity manager and I write it down, and it allows me to organize all of my thoughts. So for example, I have different pages for different parts of my life. I have a page for the books that I want to read. I have a page for the videos that I want to make on YouTube. I have a page for the exercises I want to do in the gym. And if I didn't have these pages, I'd more than likely forget about my ideas. And this is such a game changer, Think of how many thoughts and ideas you've lost over the years because you said you were going to do them later and you just completely forgot about them. Like, it's actually pretty sad. Like, you want to keep on top of this. You want to track them. My next piece of advice is to get yourself to a boxing gym. Of course, I've spoken about this on this channel before. It's literally like one of the most important things that men need to be doing to increase their masculinity and testosterone levels and improve their confidence and the way that they feel about themselves. Because when you get punched in the face, your character builds immensely. When you've got a blood nose, when you've got a black eye, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, holy shit, that just happened to me, but I'm still standing. It makes you feel like an absolute badass, right? And that gives you confidence. That gives you self-respect. That gives you qualities that you can take into other areas of your life. And not only this, but when you go to the boxing gym, it allows you to improve your health. You feel fit. You feel light on your toes. You feel strong. You feel like you are able to protect your family if you ever need to. Hopefully you will never need to, but it's always good to have some knowledge of this. Okay, now the last thing I want to tell you is to do compound exercises and broad cardio. So an example of broad cardio is boxing, but there are some other examples. You can do skipping, you can do swimming, you can do jiu-jitsu, you can use the rowing machine. And the reason that these exercises are all fantastic is because not only do they work on your cardiovascular system and your internal physique, such as your organs, your lungs, your heart, it also works on pretty much all of your muscles. You're using your entire body and your mind. So broad cardio is excellent, but I would say boxing is probably the best one because as I said earlier, when you're learning how to fight as a man and you're getting out of your comfort zone, you pretty much instantly join like the 1% of men, because you're doing something that nobody else is willing to do. And as I said, that gives you a sense of confidence and self-respect. And the compound exercises is essentially lifting weights and essentially utilizing multiple muscle groups at the same time, because this is going to give you the best bang for your buck, and it's going to save you so much time in the gym, and it's also going to allow you to look fucking great, you know. And the best exercises you can do to actually target multiple muscles at the same time, also known as compound exercises, are things like squats, Romanian deadlifts, incline chest press, tricep dips, and hip thrusts, because these, as I said, are going to target multiple muscle groups. So yeah, and one bonus tip for you here is to start reading, because when you read, you're literally able to gain knowledge and experience from other people without you having to experience it for yourself. So this is literally a cheat code to becoming successful in life. You can save so much time by doing this, and some of the best books that I've read personally that have changed my life are The Magic of Thinking Big, Unscripted, The 4-Hour Work Week, and The Psychology of Selling. I mean, there are so many others that have absolutely changed my life and the way that I think, but these ones in particular are ones that I would suggest for you to completely revolutionize your mindset. So yeah, ultimately, one of the biggest and most important things you want to be changing in 1 year is your mindset, as I've just said. If you do this properly, you will do it in such an advantageous way that it will last your entire lifetime. And that's why I'm saying you can completely change your life in 1 year if you do all of these things that I've just mentioned, okay? This is what will allow you to win in life and change the way that you are currently. Don't forget to get that free diet plan from the description below to speed up your process of gaining muscle. Believe you can, and you're more than halfway there.